My uncle's son once went forth to pursue his studies at an engineering college. To attend his lessons, he was compelled to dwell within the hostel. The college itself lay somewhat outside the town, and the hostel was built in the older quarter of the campus. The building was aged and worn, and at first sight it carried with it a queer stillness, a heaviness that pressed upon the soul. In the early days, all seemed ordinary. New companions were made, nights were spent in merriment, cricket, and chatter. Yet as he settled into his stay, he began to discern that the hostel was not as it seemed from the outside. Upon the third floor, there stood a chamber, room 204. That chamber was ever sealed. Whilst all other rooms were inhabited by students, this one door was never opened. When he inquired of his fellows, each told a different tale. Some said the chamber was ruined, others spoke of dampness in the wall, but the senior students, when pressed, revealed the truth. A lad had once taken his own life within that very room. Since then, it had been closed forevermore. My uncle's son paid no mind to such talk, deeming it naught but idle gossip. Yet soon there befell upon him an occurrence that altered his life forever. It was in the month of December. A bitter wind swept through the hostel, and most of the boys were fast asleep. At near 3 of the clock, whilst he and 2 companions studied, there came a great pounding from above, the sound of fists smiting a door with furious strength. At first they thought it but some mischief, yet as the blows came again and again, dread grew within them. With trembling courage they mounted the stair. The noise, most assuredly, came from room 204. The door was locked, the bolt unbroken, yet from within, something hammered violently, as though to rend the wood apart. Their blood ran cold, sweat coursed down their faces. And then, as swiftly as it had begun, the noise ceased. Silence fell so deep one could hear the beating of one's own heart. They fled below and roused the watchman. He examined the door, found all in order, and dismissed their fears as fancy. But the 3 knew what their ears had heard was no illusion. The next morn, curiosity compelled them to demand the footage from the corridor's contrivance of surveillance. When the images were shown, their breath caught in their throats. At the stroke of 3, a figure was seen walking down the passage. His gait was slow, his visage blurred, yet his form unmistakably human. He came to room 204, and lo, the lock opened of itself. The figure entered, and the door closed behind him without a hand. The seniors, when shown the vision, exchanged uneasy glances. At last one whispered, "This is the very lad, the one who ended his life in that room 2 years past." From that night forth, my uncle's son found no rest. Oft he felt as though someone stood outside his chamber door. Many a time he heard soft knocks, yet when he opened, no soul was there. One night he beheld with his own eyes a presence beyond his window. His room was upon the 3rd floor, where no man could stand without falling. Yet there it was, peering within. He drew the curtains and sat awake till dawn, the lamp burning all the while. On another eve, whilst he and his friends idled with their devices, one companion turned pale and whispered, "Who stands behind thee?" He spun around, naught but emptiness. Yet his friend swore he had seen a shadowy form but a moment before. The worst befell when he gazed into his own device, its front lens open. Reclining upon his bed, he beheld upon the screen a shape standing behind him, its face obscured, its frame human. In terror he turned, but the room was barren. His whole body shook. He passed the night sleepless, with every light aglow. At last, word of these hauntings reached the college authorities. They ordered room 204 sealed with a stout lock and forbade any student to approach. Yet even so, the disturbances did not cease. At times, near 3 in the morning, strange sounds arose from that room, chairs scraping, fierce pounding upon the door, and at times laughter echoing cold and hollow through the corridor. To this day, when my uncle's son recounts the tale, his countenance falls pale. He avers it was no dream, no fancy. He saw the footage with his own eyes. He felt the presence with his own soul. And the lads who yet reside in that hostel swear by oath, go not near room 204 at the stroke of 3, lest thou behold the same dread vision he once beheld.